A tree sits in the darkness, wise men believe. The mystery of the unknown words poets conceive, and all that's left of a horrible nightmare is the portions kept for only those who dare in the night. Water flowing beautifully down the mountainside is known to those only who by nature's laws abide, and all that's left is the singing of a bird. If you cannot see, the rest then shall be heard in the night. The driftwood, it is lonely, ocean winds do tell. It travels through the seas of life, through passages of hell, and all that's left is driftwood on the shore. It comes to dream and travel far no more in the night. The distant sounds of soldiers crying in their fright, praying in the darkness, fighting in the light, and all that's left is sadness on the fields. But to your eyes the truth is well concealed. Nothing then is ever quite revealed, except the thoughts of soldiers from the fields in the night. But soon the clouds shall separate the fake things from the real, and all these lies and falsities shall crumble with the fields, and all that's left is beauty in the soul, so clean and new, now shining like the gold. The love of God we sharingly do hold, and all of this shall finally unfold in the night. Shalom, Chavarim. Welcome to our fellowship on this wonderful Thursday. Yeah, I got to tell you, my sister Della, boy, she's something else. I mean, thank you for your prayers. She went for surgery today,
And the amazing thing, I couldn't believe it because, I didn't get up until afternoon. And she, before she went to the hospital, she, somebody who loves me and my sister very much, spent a lot of money on this product. They're $350 for this Blue Shield Tesla Gold plug-in by Blue Shield Global. Anyway, before she went to the hospital, she came over here and she had them overnighted, and these people who love us very much ordered one for her and one for me, as well as a second one for her that she keeps on her person if she goes out driving around. This one plugs into the wall in your house. You plug it into the center, the most center position of your house, and it covers a radius of 150 feet, blocking all EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. And I'm telling you, my friends, this could very well be why I had cancer and all that stuff going on. Right in front of me here, you can't see it. There's two big windows. If I look out the windows, I can see from top to bottom, right in line with me. If any of you watch my Walking in the Word videos, there was a big tower. I called it the Tower of Death for the fire station out there. And that thing is blasting all kinds of EMF. And it's in direct line with me. For 10 years now I've been here. And also, I have my iPad right here. Over here behind me I have my big Mac desktop, Mac Pro. I have some other gadgets around that are wireless or Bluetooth. I have a Bluetooth keyboard, a Bluetooth mouse, a wireless mouse. My iPhone is sitting here. All this stuff is hitting me over there behind me, my laptop, not to mention my TV, and over here is a modem for the Wi-Fi. I plugged this thing in around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm telling you, how long we've been doing the live streams here? A couple of years. 3 times a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I come here and I sit down, and within the first 5 minutes, I start having trouble breathing. I can't get my breath. I just kind of calm down, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes, and I guess my body recognizes the lack of oxygen in my blood and starts doing what it can to correct it, and then I start breathing better. Every single time. Here I am sitting here for the first time, proof that this thing works. That didn't happen with the out of breath thing. Hasn't happened. So, if any of you are in an area where there's a lot of EMF in your house, you want to get that for your house. If you're out driving around a lot or you go to work and stuff, then they have a portable one. You want to get that. They're expensive. This one's like $350. But I don't think anybody has a choice. Everyone is getting sick. Everyone is getting cancer. EMF certainly is promoting that big time. A lot of other things are too, but big time. Anyway, I usually don't like to get into personal things in the videos because the videos go on, time-wise. But I wanted to let you know about this product. And I felt it pretty much immediately. My home feels calmer. I feel less agitated or less edgy. So I'm feeling it already, and that's nothing. Usually within the first couple of weeks, especially an older person, it makes you feel weaker, and you might even get headaches and stuff like that because your body has to adjust. I'm not experiencing that. But anyway, I love you guys. Wanted to share that with you. Before we do anything else, let's stop the chat. Let's bow our hearts and give this fellowship over to I'm so grateful for what he does to our beloved Elohim. Oh, Abba, Father, Yahweh. Father, we come before you to worship you, to praise you and thank you, Father, for everything that you do in our lives. Oh, Abba, most of all, thank you for your mighty anointing to be upon the delivery of your word this day, opening eyes, ears, and hearts, causing people to see, hear, and understand like never before. As we give this day and every day, Abba, to you, Yeshua, and your Ruach HaKodesh, praying through our beloved Adon, our Master Yeshua, in Yahweh, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh Echad. And all the kind ones said, Amen. Well, my friends, here it is Thursday, and I don't know where we're at until I look at my notes. Tonight we will be covering chapters 12 and 13, Abba willing. Chapter 12, we're going to look at the one place of worship. Chapter 13, we're going to see what the Father says about worshiping other gods, being adulterous. And last time, Chavarim, we talked about being obedient to Yahweh. That's how we let him know how much we love him. If you love your Father, you never question anything he says. You just obey him. Too many times people are asking me, like, how come God did this, Or how come he did this and he didn't do that? I don't want to hear questions like that. You're being a disobedient child. You don't question him. You just obey him. Now, if it's a sincere question, like you want to understand why he does something, just check your heart and make sure you're not questioning his intelligence over yours. People do that. We talked about Yareh. Cammy, you asked how to spell it. You spelled it Y-A-R-E-H. I'm okay with that. I spell it Y-A-R-A-Y. I just go for phonetics, Yareh. Y-A-R-A-Y. And we talked about to Yareh Yahweh. Usually see fear the Lord in your Bibles. No, we don't fear someone, our Father, who loves us more than anyone, period. And in our study on Tuesday, we had the Father himself define what Yareh means. How cool is that? What does it mean to Yareh Yahweh? It does not mean to fear him. Fear is nothing, nowhere is in sight. We don't fear him. Number one, Yareh, Yahweh. That means to walk in the way, the narrow path. You know, the one that few look for, fewer find, and fewer still stay on. Number two, to love and serve him with all of yourself, everything you've got. And number three, to guard his word. Don't let anyone mess it up. And that's what I'm here for. I'm pointing out where they messed it up, and I'm scraping the mud off, and I'm showing you what he said. I am guarding his word so that you can do the same. In other words, to Yareh, Yahweh means to make him number one on a list of one in your life. We saw how Yahweh called Israel out of Egypt into the wilderness, where he tested and tried them to determine who would enter the promised land. And out of 3 million people, 2. Out of the original 3 million, 2 entered the promised land. Yahweh kept them, walking in circles for 40 years until they all died. Their children entered. So we can see Yahweh is calling us out of the world and into the wilderness to find the narrow path so that he can test us and determine who gets taken in the Net Chetef and goes to paradise and who does not. Oh, I thought all Christians, you just shut up. If it's not in the Word, it's a lie, and that ain't in the Word. In fact, the word Christian isn't in the Word. There are 3 types of people, Chavarim. Those who are in the world, not called. Many are called, few are chosen. There are those who are being tried in the wilderness. They're being called. And there are those who are taken in the Net Chetef to paradise. Those are the ones who are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. Most people are in the world, they're not even being called. If you are here, even if it's the first time you just bumped into me on the internet, you are being called. No mistake about it. Nobody bumps into this channel. If you're here, the Father is answering the question that you posed to him. Okay. Hang on a sec. Tiffany just let me know. We got a barking dog over here. Let's see what she's talking about. I guess I don't have my my girls here. Oh, here you go. Scriptures in your face. I teach you. You will not teach me anything. This man is pushing Jewish words. Be normal. Yeah, you be normal, man. Go back to the world where you are not called, you are not chosen, and you can go yell at a bunch of other barking dogs. See ya. All right. Thank you, Tiffany. He gone. Yeah. Anyway, amazing how arrogant they are, isn't it? There are, if you're here, you're being called. Well, what about that guy? Well, that's his choice, The Father called him here so that Abba did this so he could put it on record. The angels wrote this guy's name down. We don't know his name. You know, he put scriptures in your face. You know, I'm not going to tell you who I am. I'm not going to give you my name. I'm not going to do a picture. You know, that right off the bat is a red flag to me when people don't use their names and stuff. So anyway, Abba called him here so that he could record this person's reaction to the Father's name and original language. You know, and what did he say? Oh, you know, he's pushing Jewish stuff, you know? Yeah, I got to stop that thing from doing it twice. Thanks, Tiffany. I'm pretty sure this guy is gone, but Abba brought him here to put it on record so that, you know, he came here, he saw me professing the Father's truth, and he cursed it. He advised others to stay away from the language that they were created with. And the angels are over there writing it down in a book. Got it! And then somebody went like this to Tiffany. Tiffany sent me a text. Boom. He's gone. But why was he here? So that his wickedness could be recorded. You watching this, my friend? Good, yeah. Wake up. If you want back in, you can have back in. But, you know, go watch a couple of dozen of my other videos first, and you'll figure out how to get back in. Few look for the way. They are in the world, and they are not called. That person, great example. Fewer still find the way. This is the way. This is the narrow path. If you're here, you found it, you're being called. And if you accept it, you'll be drawn into the wilderness and tried by Elohim. And then fewest of all stay on the narrow path. They are chosen and they are taken in the net chetef. So, you know, many are called, they come here, they stick around, and they're tried, and they wind up leaving. Not many stay on the narrow path. Look, 3 million people left Egypt. Abba brought them in the wilderness for 40 years, tested them and tried them. 2 out of those 3 million made it to the promised land. I don't know how many millions were on the earth with Noah. Abba saved 8 people through the flood. So, you know, the message is there, whether people like it or not. You know, not all believers are going in the net chetef. We're seeing, too, very recently, there's the barley harvest. That's first. Then there's the wheat harvest. Well, the wheat harvest involves the wheat and the tares, where Yeshua said, leave the tares growing up with the wheat until harvest time. Then we'll separate them out. And then it's easy because they're easy to spot. We know we're near harvest time because the tares are starting to show their black colors. They're full of darkness. But there's the barley harvest, happens just before the wheat harvest. And there's no way that tares can look like barley. There's no way even the wheat can look like barley. The barley, that's the special one. They're the ones that are taken up in the Nekatef. Now, if you have questions, somebody asked me last time, Mysterious Tony, in fact, he says, Alan, isn't, forget which one, the barley or the wheat harvest during Shavuot? And I says, yeah, I think so. You know, don't ask me questions. I am terrible at calendars and, you know, the Moedim and all that stuff. I don't know what it is. It's not my calling. I'm just not good at it. Any questions like that, ask Caregiver. She's on it. We talked about it. And I says, look, you know, feel free to share whenever you feel led to by the Ruach. You have my my okay to share with the Chavarim anything on your heart, especially about, barley harvest, wheat harvest, calendars, whatever, because I'm like savant when it comes to that stuff. I am savant. I'm brilliant at delivering the Father's word to you the way he originally meant it to be delivered. He has chosen me for that purpose, and I do a good job of it. But other things, he asked me about the harvest or whatever, the wheat harvest, barley, and I suddenly become a blithering idiot. I don't know nothing. I don't want to know nothing. It's not that I'm not interested. I just can't. There's a block. Abba doesn't want me talking about those things. I thought maybe I have too much information. He doesn't want me to reveal it. But there's a block. So don't ask me. Ask caregiver. I just cut 20 minutes into our Bible study. But anyway, let's dig in on the study. We'll run through that. And then we can do our fellowship, and I'll answer questions and so on. Chapter 12. Oh, look, Alan's using the Amplified Bible, the Classic Edition. No, I'm not. You see it there? But I'm not using it. And if you don't know what I mean, just pay attention. Read along with me, and in less than 10 minutes you go, oh, yeah, he's not really using it. I don't use any Bible version on earth, my friends. The Bible version I use is here. It's written in my heart, and I deliver it the best way I know how. Don't have time to publish it. Chapter 12. The one place of worship. These are the statutes and ordinances which you will be watchful to do in the land which Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, gives you to possess all the days you live on the earth. You'll surely destroy all the places where the Goyim you dispossess served their gods. Little things they pulled out of the garbage. They're not really gods. You will surely destroy all the places where the Goyim you dispossess served their gods upon the high mountains and the hills and under every green tree. Yahweh wasn't just killing people, my friends. He was destroying the seed of the Nephilim with an army that was too weak to possibly pull it off. So everybody knew Yahweh's doing this. Nobody else could. You will break down their altars and dash in pieces their pillars, and you will burn their Asherim with fire. Asherim is disgusting. You will hew down the Pesil, graven images of their gods, and destroy their name out of that place. And what has man done? Mostly he's destroyed the Father's name and the Son's name. Yahweh and Yeshua. Nobody ever heard them before. Now they're hearing them left and right for quite a few years, and nobody wants to speak them. And, saying Yahweh, that ain't cutting it either. Any more than Yahusha. You will not behave that way toward Yahweh your Elohim. But you will seek the place which Yahweh your Elohim will choose out of all your tribes to put his name and make his dwelling place. And there you will come, any place, Chavarim, where Yahweh chooses to put his name is a place where he chooses to dwell. It's a place where he chooses to pitch tents. Guess what? Yahweh has chosen to put his name here on this ministry. Rest assured, he has chosen to pitch tents here. Choose out of all your tribes. You will seek the place which Yahweh your Elohim will choose out of all your tribes to put his name and make his dwelling place, and there you will come where he pitches tents, and there you will bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and the offering of your hands, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and the firstlings of your herd and of your flock. And there you will eat before Yahweh your Elohim, and you will rejoice in all to which you put your hand, you and your households, in which Yahweh your Elohim has baruch you, blessed you. And you will not do according to all we do here in the camp. This day, every man doing whatever looks right in his own eyes. It's so often overlooked, my friends, that the Torah of Moshe is prophetic in nature, given when it could not be fully kept. Again, it is mostly overlooked that the Torah of Moshe, the first 5 books of the Word, is prophetic in nature. Nobody teaches that for the most part. They mostly focus on the fact that it couldn't fully be kept. This prophetic nature of the Torah, however, was not overlooked by the Israelites, my friends. Or they would not, for example, have neglected to dwell in booths at the Moed of Tabernacles from the time of Joshua, to Nehemiah, Nehemiah. Take a look at Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 17. You'll see what I'm looking at. You see what I'm talking about. You will not do according to all we do here in the camp this day, where every man is just doing whatever looks right in his own eyes. We don't do that. We don't do what makes sense to us. If it's not in the Word, it's a lie. Lean not on your own understanding. Why? Because you've not yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. When we enter his rest, the idea of leaning on our own understanding is something we would never do. But when you go over the Yarden and dwell in the land which Yahweh your Elohim causes you to inherit, and he gives you rest from all your enemies round about so that you dwell in safety. Same deal when we cross over and dwell in paradise, which Yahweh our Elohim causes us to inherit. He gives us rest from all that we've been through. Then there shall be a place which Yahweh your Elohim will choose to cause his name and his presence, that's his Ruach HaKodesh, his spirit, to pitch tents there. Here he's talking to the Israelites. When you cross over the Yarden, the Jordan River, into the promised land, as Yahweh causes you to do, then there will be a place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to cause his name and his presence to dwell there, to pitch tents there. To it you shall bring all that I command. To it you shall bring all that I instruct you to bring, your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, and what the hand presents as a first gift from the fruits of the ground, and all your choicest offerings which you vow to Yahweh. And you will rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim, you and your sons and your daughters and your men servants and your maid servants and the Levite that is in your towns, since the Levites have no part or inheritance with you. Be watchful not to offer your burnt offerings in every place you see. Be watchful not to offer your worship of Abba Father in, just any place, but in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of your tribes, there you will offer your burnt offerings, and there you will do all I command you. How do we apply that? You don't go flitting around to all these different churches, and I belong to this one and that one too. That's he who speaks with forked tongue. That's a double-minded man. However, you may kill and eat flesh in any of your towns whenever you desire, according to the provision for the support of life with which Yahweh your Elohim has berachah you, has blessed you. Has baruch you, blessed you. Those ceremonially unclean, and the clean may eat of it, as of the gazelle and of the hart. Only you shall not eat the blood. You will pour it on the ground like water. Here, my friends, is a good example of how not eating the blood is only referring to the blood that is drained during the dressing of the meat. Pour it on the ground like water. You don't have to go any farther than that. It's not talking about, recently some of us saw somebody getting all the blood out of the meat, and then they put it in a pot, boiled it in water, and, the blood, some of the blood came out, and they poured all that out, filled it up with fresh water, kept doing that to get all the blood out of the meat. When they were done, they probably had something that was so disgusting, anybody would gag if they tried to put it in their mouth. That's not... That is taking it too far. That is leaning on your own understanding. The word here is very clear. When it says, don't eat the blood, pour it on the ground like water. Doesn't mean you have to wring the meat, boil it, dump it, boil it. No, you drain the blood out of the animal, and that's it. People used to drink blood. He's talking about not doing stupid things like that. You may not eat within your towns the tithe of your grain or your new wine or of your oil. You won't partake of those things, or the firstlings of your herd or the flock, or anything that you have vowed, including your free will offerings or the offerings from your hand of garden products, but you will eat them before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which Yahweh your Elohim will choose. You and your son and your daughters, your manservants, maidservants, the Levites that are within your towns, and you will rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim in everything you undertake. Take heed not to forsake or neglect the Levite, Yahweh's minister, as long as you live in your land. When Yahweh your Elohim enlarges your territory, as he promised you he will, and you say, I will eat flesh because you crave flesh, you may eat flesh whenever you desire. So much, Chavarim, for the we were meant to be vegetarians crowd. No. Forget about we're supposed to be vegetarians. That Adam and Eve may have been, but after the fall, everything changed. Everything changed. Everything in the entire universe, not just on earth, everything changed. You may eat flesh whenever you desire. That's what Yahweh says. Lean not on your own understanding. If the place where Yahweh your Elohim has chosen to put his name and presence is too far away from you geographically, then you will kill from your herd or your flock which Yahweh has given you, as I, Moshe, have instructed you. Eat in your towns as much as you please. Just as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, so you may eat of it, but not offer it as a sacrifice to Yahweh. The unclean and the clean alike may eat of it. The unclean, those who are unclean ceremonially, may eat of this, as well as those who are clean. But be sure that you do not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you may not eat the life with the flesh. Some used to drink the blood, Chavarim. You will not eat it. You will pour it out on the earth like water. That right there makes it clear about what he's talking about. You pour it out of the animal. Let it drain. That's all. You don't have to go insane about the idea. And, if you're eating a piece of meat and it's like, medium rare or rare, that doesn't mean you're eating blood or the life of the animal. If you grab an animal and rip its skin off and just start eating it, blood, meat, while it's still kicking and is alive, that is an abomination. You will not eat it, that all may go well with you and with your children after you, when you do what is right in the sight of Yahweh. Only your Kodesh things which you have to offer, and what you have vowed you will take, and go to the place before the sanctuary which Yahweh will choose. And offer your burnt offerings, the flesh, the blood, upon the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, and the blood of your sacrifices will be poured out on the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, and you may eat that flesh. Be watchful and obey all these words, which I instruct you, that it may go well with you and with your children after you forever, when you do what is good and right in the sight of Yahweh your Elohim. How do we do what's good and right in the sight of Yahweh our Elohim? By learning what his word says and obeying it. When Yahweh your Elohim cuts off before you the goyim who you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and live in their land, be watchful that you are not ensnared into following them after they have been destroyed before you, and that you do not inquire about their gods, saying, how did these goyim serve their gods? Let's do the same. Maybe we'll have good luck. You will not do so to Yahweh your Elohim, because every abominable thing, what's an abomination? An abomination is things that turn Yahweh's stomach. You will not do so to Yahweh your Elohim, because every abominable thing which Yahweh hates, they have done for their gods. Because even their sons and their daughters they burned Their own sons and daughters they have burned in the fire, sacrificing them to their so-called gods. Whatever I instruct you, be watchful to do it. You will not add to it or take away from it. If a prophet arises among you, chapter 13, we continue looking at worshiping other gods, committing adultery, same thing. If a prophet arises among you, or a dreamer of dreams. You know anybody on the internet that has dreams? If a prophet arises among you, or if a dreamer of dreams arises among you and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder they foretell to you comes to pass, and if they say, let's go after other gods, gods you've not known, and they say, let us serve them, you will not listen to the words of that person or to that dreamer of dreams, because Yahweh your Elohim is testing you. He is testing you to see whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, all your understanding, and with your entire being. He's testing you to see whether or not you're making him number one on a list of one in your life. You will walk after Yahweh your Elohim, and you will yareh him. How do we yareh him? We walk in the narrow path. We love him, we serve him with all of our being, everything we have, and we guard his word. We protect his word. You will walk after Yahweh your Elohim, and you will yareh him and keep his instructions and obey his voice. And you will serve him, and you will cling to him. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams will be put to death, because he's talked rebellion and turning away from Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. He brought you out of the world. He redeemed you out of the house of bondage. That man has tried to draw you aside from the way in which Yahweh, your Elohim, instructed you to walk. And so you will put the evil away from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own life, entices you secretly, saying, let's go and serve other gods. Let's go check this thing out. Let's try this. Let's try that. Gods you have not known. Gods your fathers have not known. Or of the gods of peoples who are round about you. You know, popular drugs. Gods. Near you, the gods of peoples who are round about you, near you, far away from you, from one end of the earth to the other. Oh, look, a new book. Let's read this. Oh, the 8th Sefer. Oh, let's make sure we buy that. Whatever. You will not give consent to him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor will you spare him or conceal him. This includes things you bump into out there on the internet. Oh, this looks interesting. It sounds like truth. If it isn't in the word, it's a lie. But you will surely kill him. Your hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. And you will stone him to death with stones, because he tried to draw you away from Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, who brought you out of the world from the house of bondage, addiction, and all Israel shall hear and yareh, and they shall never again do any such wickedness as this among you. If you hear it said in one of your cities, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you in which to dwell, that certain base fellows have gone out from your midst and have enticed away the inhabitants of their city, saying, oh, let's go and serve other gods. Let's go and take these drugs. Oh, let's go and study this spiritual course. Let's go take yoga classes. Gods you have not known. Then you will inquire and make search and ask diligently. And look, if it's true and certain that such an abominable thing has been done among you, you will surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all who are in it, and its beasts with the edge of the sword. Don't make me pull out my Bowie knife. And you shall collect all its spoil into the midst of its open square. And you will burn the city with fire, with every bit of its spoil, as a whole burnt offering to Yahweh your Elohim. It will be a heap of ruins forever. It will never be built again. And nothing of the accursed thing shall cling to your hand, so that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger. Nothing of any of those accursed things will you ever let cling to your hand. Well, let me just keep this little thing. It's nice. It's made of silver. So that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy and have compassion on you and multiply you, as he swore to your fathers, if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim to keep all his commandments, if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim to keep all his mitzvah, all his loving instructions, which I deliver to you this day, to do what is right in the eyes of yourself? No. In the eyes of somebody you're trying to impress? No. So that you do what is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim. And that, my friends, concludes our study for this day. Now we turn to the chat, our fellowship, your questions. Thank you again, Tiffany. For helping me kick out, Shut up. And now, he ran away. He probably became... No. Yeah, probably became... These people didn't let me talk. Yeah, it's because you didn't have nothing to say. Do we have any QQQs? If you're new here, put 3 big capital Q's in front of your question. That'll get my attention. Otherwise, I'll miss it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Love you, Alan Horvath. Oh, Je suis Vanessa's here. Je suis Vanessa Wilkerson. Shalom, Vanessa. We had a rabid dog But Tiffany texted me and I kicked him out. David Anthony. Hey, David. Welcome to our mishpacha, our family. David says, I'm really new to the true way. Grew up Lutheran. And I'm cleaning up my life, my house, and everything besides. Way to go. I currently rent a place from a person who's very liberal. Should I move? I don't know. I mean, are you living in his environment? Are you under his roof? And, he's worshiping false gods? Yeah, get out of there. Get your own place. Live in your own domain. And start binge watching all my videos. And take your favorite scriptures and write them down properly. Don't use the Lord. Instead, use Yahweh, Yod, Hey, Wah, Hey, YHWH. Don't try and spell it. And Yeshua, not Jesus, YUH, Yah, Shua, SHUA. And write scriptures over your doorways. Walk around your place. Pray to the Father and dedicate your place to Him. But get your own place. If you're under somebody else's roof, then you can't, you can't do anything. You can't say anything. Yeah, looking for questions. Candace says, tonight I realized the barking dogs always have a purpose. We always learn so much of what not to do. Yeah, the barking dog, Abba sent him here so he would have a record of him rejecting the Father's language, name, and so on. The angels wrote it down. Tiffany blew the shofar. I kicked him out. And now on Judgment Day, he's going to be reminded of tonight. Joseph Sepulvado. Shalom, Alan. I may get shot for this, but what's the Aramaic words for godly and ungodly? What? I would use Kodesh and unkodesh. There are no words for godly or ungodly. If you're being what people think of as godly, you're being Kodesh. You're being dedicated to Elohim. If you're being ungodly, then, you're being wicked. Not Kodesh, not dedicated to Elohim. And there's Camila telling David, make sure you start with Alan's newcomer playlist. Yeah, let me show you this. David, go to YouTube, anywhere on YouTube. Up in the top here, you see the search bar. Just go up there and type Watch Alan, WATCHALAN. Don't misspell it. And hit return. And the first thing you'll get is my picture here in a circle. Click on that, and that takes you to my YouTube channel. Then go to playlists. All here you'll see videos, playlists, and so on. The only thing you really want here is videos or playlists. Go to playlists. Wait for it to change. And then scroll around. You'll see my playlists. The newest one here is the one we're doing, the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, as you would have Deuteronomy do to you. Here's my favorite movies, liked videos that I've liked. There's one there I just put in there that shows how Aramaic is the oldest language. The book of Numbers, the book of Exodus, these are all in order. Here's my music, Alan's song performances. But, excuse me, go down. Here you go. New to Alan's channel, start here. There's 21 videos. Or new to Alan's channel with a Catholic background, 21 videos. Watch these and you'll get a real good idea about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Newcomers should all go there. Pardon me again. But, yeah, check out my videos, look at those. Billy Murray. There's a cool name and a cool face. Hey, Billy, welcome here. Not a question, just a thank you for teaching the word. Very cool, man. Thank you for thanking me. That makes me very happy. Lloyd Rees. Is that your picture? Hi, Alan. Love the videos. I have a question about making and gifting something called organite to clear chemtrails. I've seen much evidence that it works. Is it sorcery? Thank you. I have no idea, Lloyd. I don't know what you're talking about. So I can't tell you it's sorcery. Sorcery, when you see the word sorcery in our English interpretations, it's usually talking about pharmakeia. Making something called organite to clear chemtrails? How are you going to clear chemtrails? Well, you got a plane? I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't really answer your question, but it doesn't sound like sorcery to me. To me, it sounds like warfare. Defeating chemtrails. Bernie says, do we need to wear 4 blue ribbons on our garments? Yeah, Bernie, if you don't wear them, you're going to hell. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding, man. You don't need to do anything. This is not, if you think that you need to do something in order to be saved, then you are believing in magic. We don't worship magic, man. That's what religions do, especially the Catholics. No, you don't need to do anything. What you need to do is learn the Father's word and worship him. Not because of what you're going to get for it, as if, if I say 4 Hail Marys and 5 Our Fathers, I'm going to heaven. That's magic. Don't buy into that garbage, man. Amen, Tiffany. We have a wonderful bunch of newbies. We have newbies every time we go live. It's amazing. And I love seeing every one of them. And here's one. Lonnie. Lonnie was a newbie a few weeks ago. And Lonnie's been like, his skin is wrinkled from bathing in the Word. I know, Lonnie. I know you've been watching a lot of videos. Abba's beracha on you, my friend. And Carolyn, she says, the more I watch, the more I get it. That's right. That's how it works. Don't ever think, oh, I read that book. It's not a book. You don't read it and then you're done. Every time you read it, you see something new, or you're not being washed by or growing in the Father's Word. Fred, how's it going, Fred? Alan, there may be other Mishpacha family that are curious, like myself. Can you point or reference through one of your videos how to study the Bible properly? No, Fred, there's no way to study it properly. There's only one way to study it properly, and that's to study it, period. There's no way. There's all these programs out there. Read a verse a day, or get the whole Bible in 1 year, like, stay away from that stuff. The Bible is not a book. You don't read it and then you're done. Oh, I read the book of John. I don't ever have to read it again. Really? No. The only way to study the Father's Word is first, before you open the book up, before you turn your computer on to watch a video, first you pray to the Father, thanking Him for guiding you and directing you and for opening your eyes, your ears, and your heart, causing you to see, hear, and understand His truth. Then you go in. You do that every day of your life. That is the only way to study His Word. There is no other way. If you got some book that says, 10 easy steps to understanding the Bible, stay away. Those are all lies. Love you, Donna. Oops, what did I do? When it jumps, you never know how far. That's not bad. We're pretty close. Let me grab some more text. What was that? Kathleen Phillips, Shalom Allen, if there's time, would Toy once again go over what we should not have in our homes? No, you don't get that from me, Kathleen. You pray to the Father. Father, I want to go through my house. Please show me what does not belong. Please show me what does not esteem you. You pray to Him sincerely. And then you go through your house, north, south, east, west, top to bottom, and He will show you. Also, should women wear seat? No, if you wear them, you're going to hell. Again, no, you shouldn't do anything. You don't have to do anything. Yes, women can wear the seat. But don't think it's like some magic thing that's going to make you more spiritual than you are. Forgive me if I seem harsh. I mean to be. It's just my way of getting your attention to pay attention to what I'm saying. Argonite does not clear chemtrails. It's for other dimensional resonance and requires discernment. Father has us covered as the birds. Thanks, D. Mason. I don't know what the Argonite thing is all about. Maybe he's right. Maybe it is sorcery. I don't know. But you're asking the wrong person. Lloyd Rees, question and follow-up. Organite is quartz crystal. We're worshiping crystals, are we? And aluminum in resin. I learned the recipe from a follower of Jah. Really? Who's Jah? It clears chemtrails when thrown in grounded water. No, that's magic, man. Get out of here with that. Now I can answer your question. Yeah, that's sorcery. It's garbage. If it's not in the Word, it's a lie. And anyone who calls the Father Jah doesn't even know His name. So I don't know who he's following, but he's not following Yahweh. What happened? Time to wrap things up. Got a little something I want to share with you before I go. David says, Alan, you're by far the best church I've ever been to. Yes, because it's not a church. The word church is the English satanic way of blocking the Father's truth, which the original is called out ones. This is a gathering of the called out ones, but it's not a church. There's no steeple outside with a cross on it, you know. David says, I took to using the Father and his Son's name like a duck to water. Yeah, that means you belong to him. Okay, looks like we're at the bottom here. Good. All right, looks like we're done. This is my new hat, and I've been looking at it. When I first put it on, I had a different hat band up here, and I watched it a couple of times, and I thought, it's not the right hat band. So I went and I bought some pure silver, and I also already had some pure copper, and I'm going to take these two and I'm going to do something. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm doing what I always do. I've showed these to Abba Father. I've prayed over them. I told him what I want to do, and I want to esteem him the way I did when I made this. And as I proceed, I'll share it with you. But I want to make a nice narrow silver and copper braided, hammered hat band for my hat. But that's it, my friends. Let's stop the chat. Let's bow our hearts and close with prayer. Dear beloved Abba Father, oh Abba, we come before you to worship you, to praise you and to thank you, Abba. To thee, Abba. Thank you, Father, for everything you are doing. Thank you for bringing in the newbies and for maintaining the truebies. Thank you so much, Father, for the seeds that you are planting here through this ministry, for causing them to take root, to be watered, to produce fruit that bears the seed of Yeshua in it. As we give this day, Father, and every day to you, Yeshua, and your Ruach HaKodesh, praying through Yeshua in Yahweh, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh Echad, and all the Kodeshim, all the dedicated ones said, Amen. I love you, my friends. Abba willing, we will continue where we left off this coming Saturday, 9 p.m. Next week, we will be going to early morning hours. This is as late as it gets for our fellowship. But if you're new here, go back to the playlists and start with Exodus, and then go on to Numbers, and then catch up with us here in Devarim, Deuteronomy, that we're in now. And join us every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday, where we get washed by and grow in the Father's Word together. I love you all. Between now and Saturday, keep your wicks trimmed and keep your lamps ablaze. Shalom, my friends.
I sing to Yahweh, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my deliverance. He is my El, and I praise him, Elohim of my father, and I exalt him. Yahweh is a man of battle, Yahweh is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and his chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds. The depths covered them, they went down to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has become great in power. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath. It consumed them like stubble. And with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The floods stood like a wall, the depths became stiff in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I pursue, I overtake, I divide the spoil, my being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword, my hand destroys them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them, they sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Yahuwah, among the mighty ones? Who is like you, great in Kodeshah, awesome in praises, working wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your kindness, you led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength, you guided them to your Kodesh dwelling. Peoples heard, they trembled. Anguish gripped the inhabitants of Pelasheth. Then the chiefs of Edom were troubled, the mighty men of Moab. Trembling grips them, all the inhabitants of Canaan melted. Fear and dread fell on them by the greatness of your arm. They are as silent as a stone. Until your people pass over, O Yahuwah. Until the people whom you have bought pass over. You bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahuwah, which you have made for your own dwelling, the Mikdash, O Yahuwah, which your hands have prepared. Yahweh reigns forever and ever.